Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We'll talk Browns and NFL football, and we'll talk Cavs and NBA basketball. We'll talk traveling Major League Baseball. We'll have another great moment in sports history for you. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. What NFL team was penalized in 2012 for putting bounties out on opposing the offensive players? I'll have the answer later on the broadcast. Well, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell might grant the Browns' request to allow Kareem Hunt to remain with the team during at least part of his 8-game suspension for 2 physical altercations. Dorsey said, Goodell said, I left that door that may be for a portion of the suspension that I would allow access back into the facility in an earlier stage. Goodell said Tuesday to the facility. In an earlier stage, Goodell said Tuesday during a press conference at the NFL annual meetings, we have done this frequently in the context of longer suspensions in the best interest of the player, so that a player can adjust back in, have the opportunity to get back into the workout routine, including practices and potentially. But a lot of that will be dependent on consistency with things we agreed to when I met with Kareem. As Goodell said, what we laid out and what we agreed to as far as using the resources of the league and the Players Association to make sure that he is making better decisions going forward. And that was clearly stated. And also he said, I expect that will be the foundation of any decision I make on that point. And I can agree with that. And I feel maybe allowing Kareem Hunt to play is probably a good idea, because you're going to want to develop him and really get and see what he can do. The handling of the former Chiefs running back has drawn criticism, but the team has stood strong behind a guy who has never played a down for them. He is currently undergoing anger management counseling and performing community service. Owner Dee Haslam told Mary Kay Cabot of the Cleveland Plain Dealer that her conversations with Hunt before he was signed were convincing. That was the main thing that led us to say yes, Haslam said. He's a really nice young man who obviously made some horrendous mistakes, but owns them. He owned them. He wants to do better. He wants to be a better person. Listening to John Dorsey and Freddie Kitchens, they felt confident he would contribute to the team and could do this. It's up to Kareem. He has to prove it. But he's a young man who made terrible mistakes. It's something we put a lot of thought into. Everything is up to him. Obviously, there's no guarantees here. He seemed very sincere and very remorseful. He realized his actions were unacceptable, and that's good. And it seems that if he follows through with his program and avoids future trouble, the league is willing to work with him. And I can agree with that. And I just feel he needs to follow through with the program he's with and really prove himself, prove he can do this, and really prove that he will not get into any further trouble. And let me know what you think on this. and I want to know your inputs on this, and really your impact and your thoughts on this. Leave me a reaction to this, your thought on my discussion page on my YouTube channel, Scott Sports 101, or on my website, scottsports101@gmail.com. Well, the Cavs are off today, but are back in action tomorrow night as they will begin their final road trip of the season as they take on the San Antonio Spurs at AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. Drew's crew knows they're going to need to have a good strategy and really come out and play hard against San Antonio if they want to come away with the win. Tip-off is at 8:30 p.m. on Fox Sports Ohio. And now we'll have and now here is today's great moments in sports history on Scott Sports 101. And it all goes back to December 23rd, 1972 at Three Rivers Stadium at Pittsburgh, PA. The moment is the Steelers were losing in the warning moments of their 1972 AFC Divisional Playoff game against the Oakland Raiders, facing a 4th and 10. Quarterback Terry Bradshaw threw a pass which was deflected by an Oakland defender. Game over? Hardly. Running back Franco Harris caught the deflection and ran it for a touchdown, giving the Steelers a 13-7 victory. And the impact is that had on this is the play was the beginning of the end of the futile period in Pittsburgh as the Steelers went on to win 4 Super Bowls in 6 years through the 70s. Though they lost their next game against the Miami Dolphins, the play is regarded as one of the greatest in NFL history. And I have another great moment in sports history on my next broadcast, which will be tomorrow. And that will be a very special broadcast, and I'll explain that one in just a moment. But right now, it is time for the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. And here it is. What NFL team was penalized in 2012 for putting bounties on opposing defensive players? And if you said the New Orleans Saints, you are correct. In 2012, the NFL discovered that the New Orleans Saints had operated a secret slush fund from 2009 to 2011 that paid the bounties to defensive players for injuring opponents. Several players and coaches were suspended as a result of the scandal. And I have another trivia question on my next broadcast, so stay tuned for that. We are less than 24 hours away from saying play ball as the 2019 Major League Baseball season opens tomorrow, and the Tribe's regular season opening day gets underway tomorrow as the Tribe takes on the Minnesota Twins at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Corey Glover will make his 5th opening day start on the mound for the Tribe. And Jose Barrios will be on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. First pitch at 4:10 on Sports Time Ohio, and you can hear the game on WT on the radio home of the Tribe, WTAM 1100, and on the sister station 100.7 WMMS. Tom Hamilton with the call. Well, my final thoughts here for today, for this edition, and I wanted to mention one thing before final thoughts. I will have my next broadcast, which will be tomorrow, will be a very special broadcast of Scott Sports 101, as it will be a Tribe broadcast to celebrate opening day of Major League Baseball and the opening day of the 2019 Cleveland Indians season. And I'll get you ready and psyched and psyched for the big game at 4:10 on Sports Time Ohio between the Tribe and Twins, and give you my expectations for the Tribe, what I feel they're going to do, and I really and I'm gonna and the players and how they're and Tribe skipper Terry Francona, and how I feel they're going to do, and how wins I think they're going to games are going to win this year. So stay tuned for that. Now my final thoughts. I wanted to just say that I feel the Browns are going to win a lot of games this year, and I feel Heinicke's going to really get some good playing time in. And I feel if he can go about with this program and prove himself that he won't have any further trouble and get in any further trouble, I feel that that the league will work with him, and I feel he is really going to turn himself around, I feel. And I really think he is. He's going to be contributing in a big way to the Browns. And yesterday, actually today, no, it was yesterday, excuse me, on 92.3 The Fan, they did a poll, and that poll was, do you want Week 1 Sunday Night Football, Browns and the Patriots? And last I heard, and I know a lot of fans say yes, but I heard 76% say bring it on. They say yes. They thought it would be a great matchup, and I feel it would too. So I feel it would be a great matchup. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. Always remember, be a team player each and every day, in every way possible. I'll see you tomorrow for a very special Scott Sports 101 Tribe broadcast, opening day of the 2019 Major League Baseball season. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.